want to do setups around town, we do cut setups too. That's pretty much our day.
You have a card now?
Sure. And Pierce has a 1-800 number where you can get a hold of either like a chassis engineer, a pump engineer, aerial engineer, for questions too. Yeah, the first page we got is the load chart. Every Pierce aerial has a load chart. The ladder does not have an overload system on it, so the operator has to know the limits of his load chart and pay attention to how much weight's on the ladder. Okay, so this is a fully extended 360 degrees around the truck. From -5 degrees elevation to 75 degrees elevation. Okay, and on the side here, it's got your base section, mid, fly, platform. Now when you're talking about adding weights to these other sections, it's like this. This is your turntable. This would be the end of your base, end of your mid, end of your fly, and here's your basket. Okay, so in your basket or your platform, you can have 1,000 pounds from -5 degrees to 75 degrees. Now remember, if you're fully extended, you're going to smack the ground before you ever get to -5 degrees. So watch for that. Okay. Now at your base section, from -5 degrees to 29 degrees, you can have 250 pounds on your base section and 1,000 pounds on your platform. Okay. So if you have 4 guys in the basket, you couldn't send anybody else up to the platform, but you could bring somebody back down, just as long as you don't exceed that 1,000 pounds in the basket. So at 50 to 75 degrees, have 1,000 pounds in the platform, 500 at the fly, 750 at the mid, and 1,000 at the base section. That's total. If you're doing a rescue, just keep everybody spaced out. Okay. If I held a weight above my head, you know, you start to lower it. Oh, whichever it gets out here. Same with this. It's all leverage. Yeah. Okay, so that was waterway dry and 50 mile per hour wind conditions. And I always get asked, what if it's 53 miles an hour wind conditions? And I called up engineering, they said this is what the truck is tested and rated up to. So if they decide to go above that, good luck and all that stuff. So, I don't know how many 50 mile an hour plus days we have that are going to be fully extended and flowing water. And, yeah, I might have them, but
Good moms.
yeah. Okay, the chart down below it. That's a load chart with your waterway charged. Okay, and the platform, instead of having 1,000, you can only have 500 pounds in the platform when you're flowing water. And you have to weight higher elevations to put your weight on your other sections. Going up above it, you can put 250 at the base at -5 to 29. This one you have to wait till 30 to 39 degrees. Also on the ladder when we get out there, on the command zone, the computer screen on the turntable and at the basket, one of the screens has a load chart built into it that automatically, I hate to say add and subtract, guys get confused, but it'll automatically do this for you on that screen. Because if you had 2 guys in the basket, it does not subtract from 2 guys. It just adds and subtracts when you're going up and down in elevation. Yep. That screen also will, if you're flowing water, there's a paddle wheel inside of the waterway. If that waterway paddle wheel spinning, it'll automatically drop this down to 500 pounds here because it knows water's in the waterway. But if you shut off both your monitors and you're using your standpipe and you're fully extended, you shut that standpipe off and the waterway is full of water and that transducer wasn't spinning, it'll go back to 1,000 because the computer doesn't know there's water in the pipe.
The computer just takes you back to the screen and gives you this chart. It doesn't show you what you actually have in there.
No, just does this chart for you. Okay, down below, monitor nozzle position.
Message report radio check.
Good morning, Indian Force. You're on Thursday.
Copy, thank you.
From -5 to 75 degrees, you can have 0 to 1,500 gallons per minute, unlimited nozzle positioning. Okay, from -5 to 75 degrees, 1,500 gallons per minute to 2,000 gallons per minute. Side to side is 45 degrees, and up and down is 30 degrees max. Okay, and there's no indicators on the monitors telling you that you're over 1,500 and you're past 45 degrees. You have to look on your display your gallons per minute. And then you'd have to figure out what 45 degrees is.
Station 2, Station 1, we're loaded and heading up to Station 1 with 2 gallons of solid soap. We're on our way.
That's Captain Jim.
Okay, our next page, this is a load chart with a 1/4 inch of ice buildup. Waterway dry, 50 mile per hour wind conditions. In the platform, you can have 750 pounds in the platform. Okay, 1/4 inch of ice buildup, waterway charge, 50 mile per hour wind conditions, you can have 500 pounds in the platform. Now when you're watching, you're getting some ice buildup, before you get real heavy, thick, 1/4 inch of ice buildup. You can try to extend it or retract it a little bit, break some of that off. Okay, but if it is real heavy, you want to get the ladder off to the side, put tarps over it, or blast it with water and get that off there, because the section's right on pads and you can damage some pads if you got a real heavy buildup. And down below, it's the same as the page before with 0 to 1,500 unlimited nozzle positioning, and 1,500 to 2,000, 45 degrees and 30 degrees. Any questions? Everybody see how to read the load chart? There's one inside of the turntable console, and there's one in the basket too. Pretty much the rule of thumb is 4 guys in the basket. I mean, some places 3 guys in the basket.
Okay. On the flow chart with your nozzles, this is showing just a single nozzle. To deal with the double nozzles we have, then you have to,
Same thing, still.
same thing, but you have to add up what you're flowing in each nozzle.
Yep. That'll, the command zone, where that transducer is, that's in the waterway pipe coming up, so that'll give you a reading of what's coming out.
So both monitors will be indicated, total volume will be indicated on GPM on that command zone in the basket. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay, our next page is this scale here. There's a scale on the back of the truck, a little level, and there's one underneath the step. I'll show you when we get out there. But that's for your side to side and front to back grade and slope. Okay. So on that level, if you're 0 to 5 degrees, you're in the green. You got 100% use of your load chart. 5.1 degrees to 8 degrees, you're in the yellow. You got 50% use of your load chart. Anything greater than 8 or more, you're in the red. You have to reset up. The computer won't even let you pick ladder or the grade if you're greater than 8. And if you're greater than 5, there's amber strobes on the front of the base section on the outside. Those will start to flash when you're over 5 degrees. And your computer will stay unstable condition. I'll show you where the levels are when we get out there. Next page is safety. That's a brand new manufacturer recommends. An operator must be stationed at the turntable controls at all times. Okay, when somebody's at the basket, in the basket, they want somebody at the turntable. Because the turntable overrides the basket controls, ladder controls, and nozzle controls. During the operation, continually monitor your load chart. Stay within your load chart.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
the override from the platform to the basket. Okay, that's just, we have no switch, like a control switch from turret to basket, right?
No.
Okay, so if a guy down at the platform grabs something, starts doing something, even though the guy in the basket's trying to do something else, the guy in the platform's got control.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if the basket was going right, all the guy at the turntable would have to do is take his controller to the left and take over and take him to the left. Do not extend or retract the ladder section when personnel standing on the ladder sections has legs and feet may be jammed between the rungs. That's an understatement. High pressure hydraulics, if you get your legs or anything in between them rungs, are gonna get ripped off, so keep them out of there. About 10 years ago, a friend of mine did a delivery in Illinois. And about a week after he got back from the training, he got pulled up in the big shot's office and they were questioning him what this training was about. And they told him that two guys were in the basket. It was a 100-foot platform like this, two guys in the basket, 75 degrees. The guy at the turntable, for whatever reason, fainted or just had a brain malfunction, and he wanted to look in between the rungs and take a better look at the turntable area underneath there by the swivel, by the water. They didn't know he was in there, and they retracted, and it kind of gnawed him off about right here. Yes, he kind of almost got out, but didn't make it all the way. But that stuff does happen, and I never want to be on that red carpet, so if you guys do me a favor and keep your head out of there, I appreciate it. The aerial is designed for a positive load. Do not set the aerial on the ground, roof, etc. Okay, this is a positive load on the ladder. That would be a negative load. The sections are designed to handle a negative load. Okay, so self-supporting, pull up to a fire, set it over a roof, give yourself a foot or two so you can step onto it easily, but don't come and set it down on it. Them pads on the bottom of the basket are for accidental contact only. The operator is responsible for knowing the condition of his aerial device before operating. This includes pins, cables, cylinders, loose equipment, etc. Ladder sections. This is important. It's usually a lot of the big cities. They don't know they'll have a bad cable or a cylinder. They'll just keep operating. They don't want to take the truck out of service. So that's how accidents happen. But about a year ago, a ladder came back and we had to redo the whole thing. The fire truck was leaving the station and they turned too quick, and the turntable console hit the door on the way out and got twisted. And unlike this one's electronics over hydraulics. This one, the hydraulic valve was right there. Your dead man switch was in your handle. So you lift it up, went razor lower and released it, and it would automatically pop back to neutral. They twisted their console up. So somebody took a magic marker and wrote a new neutral position for all the levers. So they got to a fire, they extended that ladder out over the building, okay? And nobody was really paying attention, but it was lowering really slow, nobody could see it, or was watching. And once that lower handle seen resistance against it, it went from 500 PSI to about 3,000 PSI and it folded the upper midsection. So, morning.
Good morning. You betcha.
So yeah, get that stuff taken care of. And all they said was, all we did was extended it, look what happened. And they Pierce flew out some people and they said, well, what's this stuff here? So if you ever do that, don't use a permanent marker here. During aerial operation, safety chains must be in place. Okay, you guys have the yellow man-saver bars on your turntable. If the aerial contacts a high voltage line, do not touch the truck and the ground at the same time. Depending on the situation, if everything's not totally fried, you may be able to move the ladder away from the power lines. If everything's totally fried, stay put. Don't try to jump because it'll arc to you. So wait for your power company to come. Or just stay as far away from power lines as you can. Personnel on the ladder should wear safety belts at all times. When fighting a fire with the aerial, never work directly over a roof in case of venting. When When using an aerial for rescue operations, try to approach from above. Okay, here's the window, you come from above. If you came from down below, they would want to jump in the basket and could put you in an overload. When making a rescue, always position the tip for easy access. That just means get up to your window or roof close enough where you can step onto it easily. Okay, in Chicago, they think that means easy access means poking a hole inside of a house with a ladder. It's not what they meant by easy access. When using an aerial in extreme cold conditions, be aware of possible ice buildup. Yeah. Excessive ice buildup can cause overload and damage to the area. Another thing, Pierce recommends that flowing water, you can retract, but do it slowly. They recommend bring the GPMs down a little bit, but you can retract. All the other functions are fine. Now say you're fully extended, and you shut them 2 monitors off, 2 butterfly valves underneath the monitors, in front of the basket, and you're using that side discharge or that standpipe. You close that, make sure you got something open before you retract it. There's 2 relief valves in the system, but in case one of them would fail, you know, either open up one of them butterfly valves, there's a drain in the back, you can open that up. Just make sure the water's got somewhere to go. Okay, the 2 relief valves. One underneath the basket opens at 165 and 200, fully cracks at 165 and fully at 200. And there's one underneath the truck that opens at 220 and fully at 250. Okay, the waterway is tested and rated at 250 psi. So if you stay underneath that 250, I mean that's a lot of water, 250 psi in that waterway. So I don't even know if you'll get up that high flowing. So just stay within your 250. Any questions on this? We'll cover more when we get out to the truck. Now I got another sheet here. Now remember when I said I was an aerial technician earlier? I bring that up because I'm not a diesel mechanic, okay? So don't beat me up too bad on the engine. And because this is what every engine manufacturer's come up with to meet 07 emissions. Okay, so every fire truck manufacturer is doing the same thing, so it's not Pierce's fault or my fault. Okay, so basically what they did to meet emissions, they put a giant muffler, a Cadillac converter, and it's got plates that run through it, okay? And as the truck runs, them plates get sooted up, okay? And then when you, the engine senses back pressure on them, that's when you're gonna start to get these different lights. You have 4 stages of lights. Okay, you'll have a solid DPF light on. Okay, that means you can either take it out and run it hard, or you can do a parked regen. I'll show you how to do a parked regen when we get out there. Okay, the second stage would be a flashing DPF light. Same thing. They say it would take about 8 hours between a solid and a flashing DPF light. Okay, and you can do the same thing, take it out and run it and pump. It could do hot enough for it to clean itself out. So basically it's just a different, you know, if you keep on ignoring it, pretty soon at the end of a flashing DPF, a solid check engine, and a solid stop engine. That means you gotta do a parked regen right now, if you get them 3 lights on. So basically, don't let it get that far. Okay, take it out once a week and run it hard. Take it out to the interstate or, okay, so basically the hotter it's ran, the more it likes it. If it sits at idle, it's gonna get sooted up faster than it would be if it's ran hard. And there is this is a copy of what's gonna be put in the glove box in the truck. There's a hard copy of this. They made these engines for over-the-road trucking, okay? And they're running hard enough all the time where they can keep themselves cleaned out. So this is what they came up for fire departments and buses and that not run that hard all the time. Yeah. If you want, we can head out to the truck or take a restroom break, smoke break, whatever you guys gotta do.
Let's go.
How about you?
You're not getting testy, are
3
you?
days.
3 days you've been off?
Start pointing things out and talking about. Okay, this right here, it's called a low-level plumbing drain. Okay, there's a little ball valve in it. When it sees pressure, it'll seep. There's no pressure on it, it'll open up and it'll drain the water out of the waterway right here. Hey, these are those accidental contact pads.
Incidental.
He likes it.
Okay, these two hooks right here, you can use those 500 pounds a piece. Okay, you can pick up 1,000 pounds, use the ladder as a crane. Just pick it up, strap on like this. Whatever you hang from the bottom though, subtract it from your load chart, from your platform.
There's a 5 new baskets and 500.
Okay, this is a shower head. Up in front in the middle, there's a handle. I'll show you that when we get the ladder off to the side, where the handle is to open that. You want to open that when things are getting hot. There's electrical components underneath both of these doors. You shouldn't have to go in them, but that's computer modules and stuff in there. So if it's getting hot, open that up and keep the bottom of the basket cool. This right here is one of the reliefs. Opens at 165 and fully at 200. The one underneath the underneath the truck will open up before this one will. Okay. This is AC lighting, both of these big ones underneath here. So to use those, you have to have a generator on and your breaker switched on. Also with the one on the front of the basket, the rectangular one, that's AC also. The one next to it, the round one, that's DC powered. Okay. There's 2 AC lights on the back too.
Walk around.
In front here, this little probe, that's a heat sensor that'll tell the command zone. It'll give you a high temp alarm about 170, 180. Okay, everybody know how to lift the cab up? And inside of here before, same as the other one.
This says an outside temperature. Okay, so you get 170, what you say?
Between 170 and 180, you'll get a high temp alarm.
Okay, then that's when you want to open your door.
You probably opened that before.
Before that, okay. But if you haven't, and you did that, then you
Definitely.
want to make sure to definitely have that on.
Hey, John, just one question. To lift the cab on this, do you have to raise the ladder up?
Yeah. Raise it up about 15, 20 degrees and just make sure you give yourself plenty of room.
I was thinking you might be able to consider who's going to try to get involved in the rough out. Otherwise, you might have to take it outside. That's my trying
Weren't you listening? The computer modules and stuff.
If they get hot.
That's the escape.
Yes, yeah. Escape hatch. Jump through it.
You can do your pull-ups out here.
Parachute should be a good swing.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the wheel chocks quick. Low side tight. High side an inch or 2 away. So if you're on a pretty level grade, this is fine. Low side tight, high side an inch or 2 away. Low side, if I release my parking brake, which way is the truck gonna roll? I don't want that side tight. Now, if I was set up on a steep grade, okay, I was set up uphill. Okay, this is my low side. I take my high side and take this one, put it around the other side on the other front tire. Okay. Now, this is important. You want to keep the front tire on the ground 99% of the time. Okay. Got a tack force suspension. That means you don't have a straight axle, you got two A-arms in the front. Both A-arms, there's a little proximity switch that reads that A-arm. Okay, so when your tires come off the ground, A-arm's gonna go like this, and that switch isn't gonna see that A-arm anymore. And that switch is gonna tell the computer on the ladder that your front tires are off the ground. So the ladder's gonna automatically build an imaginary wall up in front of the truck. It's only gonna let you extend out so far. If you're fully extended, say here, you rotate, it's gonna stop you. Same with coming down. So if the front tire's off the ground, you're gonna have restrictions over the front. So 99% of the time, you pull up to a scene, and there's a hill, you wanna take it uphill. In an emergency, if you went downhill, you brought your front tires off the ground, you'd wanna work off the back of the truck. And if your front tires were off the ground, you would take these, put them on your rear axles, and make sure your rear axles are on the ground. Because all your tires are off the ground, you're sitting on 4 skis. So make sure you got a couple of axles on the ground if possible. Okay, so that's a real good anchor point for the truck. There's a front wheel lock that you want to use when you're using your aerial. I'll show you where that is. You got your front wheel lock. Front tires are going to be on the ground 99% of the time. And put them on the driver's side so before the driver gets in, hopefully he sees them before he tries to take off. Okay. Questions on wheel chocks? I don't know if Joe covered this, but this is a big one. They're wanting everybody to get out of the habit of pulling themselves up with the steering wheel. Use a grab handle with the lift and the tilt. You got bigger guys pulling themselves up constantly. That'll loosen up that linkage, and then you have to replace the steering column after time. Because I've seen some big firemen, about 400 pounders, and they pull on that, you can almost see it. So, just get used to using the grab handles. Okay, we talked about park regen earlier. Basically what you gotta do for park regen, you want the engine up to operating temperature. Okay, cycle your parking brake, cycle your transmission, neutral, drive back to neutral. Okay, then come down on this bottom button on the right down here. Everybody see that? Your DPF button. Take that and hold it in for 5 seconds. Okay, then you'll hear your engine start to wind up. It'll go up to about 1650 and it'll stop. It'll stay there. Could take anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes depending on how suited up the plates are. And when it's done and it's clean, it'll automatically come back down. And say you're doing that and you get a call. Once you release the parking brake, it will automatically come back down for you. Okay. If Joe went over a lot of this stuff, let me know and
Should always do that outside.
Yep, always outside. Make sure that there's not a hayfield next to you or anything like that, because it exhausts and it's hot. Okay, starting the truck. Battery, ignition. Okay, and let it go 5 or 6 seconds. There's a little light right here up in the corner that says wait to start. So basically when that goes out, go ahead and start it. If you don't,
They got that thing on the door.
Wasn't that time?
yeah. If you don't do that, you'll get once in a while you get some weird warnings on your command zone over here. Transmission comm loss, engine comm loss, funny stuff like that. If you ever do get that, you're gonna have to reboot your truck like you would reboot a computer at home. Shut the truck off, turn your battery off, give it a couple seconds, go ahead and restart it. And also, shutting the truck off, always use your ignition, never go straight to your battery. Okay, did Joe cover this, emergency lighting?
Yes.
Okay, your Aero Master, that's your DC power for your stabilizers and your ladder. Aero PTO is your hydraulic power for your stabilizers and your ladder. Right next to it's platform leveling switch. Now your platform leveling switch is meant to use when, say you're driving down the road or you're about to pull out and your basket's hanging down in the way. Okay, you got your PTO off, you got your Aero Master off, you got your PTO turned off, you're ready to, everything's packed up, you're ready to head down the road. Okay, you take that platform leveling switch and hold it in, and it takes a few seconds because it's got to get from here, back of the truck, up the swivel, and it's got to turn on a basket leveling pump, and that'll raise that basket out of your way, level it out for you.
What would cause it to be unhooked?
Sometimes just sitting overnight, if the fluid's hot or cold, it could drift on one way or the other. It shouldn't, but it may. Sometimes, if you're on a funny grade or a slope running your aerial and you put it in your cradle, you'll notice that it's down a little bit. So you hit it and raise it out of your way. Okay, your generator PTO, you want to run anything AC, you have to have your generator PTO on. Okay, aerial PTO and generator PTO, recommend that you shift them in at low idle. If you're flowing water and you forgot to put your generator engaged, forgot to put your generator in, you had your idle up for flowing water, it's okay once in a while, but you want to get in the habit of putting it in at low idle. It's a lot easier on the equipment.
Does it hurt to, we're all going to see just automatically do it, put it in right now, and then it run? That won't hurt, but
No.
it doesn't bother anything, there's no extra load on engine on it, so.
No, if you think you might use it, put it in. Now, if you are in pump, you don't have to come out of pump to go into Aerial Master, Aero PTO, or Generator PTO. You can go in before, during, or after. Okay. With that, the Aerial Master and Aero PTO are both interlocked through the parking brake. So if I forgot to shut both of them off, either of them off, it'll automatically shut them off. Same with the transmission, unless I was in pump. Okay, now if I'm pump, I can go in before, during, or after. Doesn't matter. Okay, does everybody know how to put the pump in gear? Yeah.
Same as the other one.
Yep.
When we're going in the aerial, say we're just using the aerial right now, we're in neutral, right? Okay, transmission's in neutral. Then you want to go in and add your pump, come in, and just shift the transmission.
Yep.
To drive. Yep. Okay, and then just do your regular procedure with the pump switch, right?
Yep.
Then you go in and drive. You take it out, everything will be fine.
Yep.
If I take it out of pump and I still want to use the aerial, I'll probably go down to neutral now, transmission.
Yep, after you come back to neutral, then it'll come out. It'll still be an aerial here.
So as long as aerial master's engaged with your PTO and the PTO.
Yep. Okay, does the other truck have off-road traction on it? What do you do? Okay, so basically to run the aerial, 5 things. Pull up to a scene, neutral, parking brake, aerial master, aero PTO, and your front wheel lock. Yeah.
Go over that again.
Okay, neutral. You've done this a few times. Yeah. Transmission into neutral. Set your parking brake. Aerial master, aerial PTO, front wheel lock.
3 things.
Yep.
Is the front wheel lock, the interlock you talked about that just locks everything up so the truck can't move? I mean, is that
The front wheel lock just locks up your
just
front
locks up
axle.
the axle so it can't? I mean,
Yeah, it locks up the brakes on your front axle. Okay, and it is like this one's interlocked between Aero Master and Aero PTO. This parking brake, But if you forgot to set your front wheel up, you'll still be able to run your aerial.
Okay.
You just want to use it. Like that wheel chock's a good 8 point for the truck. You want to use that every time. Up for on, down for off, and these will turn red when they're on. Aerial Master and Aerial PTO. Okay, Aerial PTO and Generator PTO are two separate PTOs. Okay. Anybody want to look in there while we just talk about it? You can see what I was talking about.
Does the generator
Yep.
so can you park and drive with it?
I'll have to check that out. I don't think that's what you're thinking.
Well, that's a real small line you got for the booster. It's only fucking a few.
Front base says when you're
Getting all this down, right?
What was that again, Dan?
throttle down.
Yellow hose coming out of there is a little bit small on the booster side of things. Could we, get at least 3/4 on that? Thank you.
We'll do our best, Les.
Great.
Thanks for your input.
Hey,
Only for the truck at the plant, though.
right.
Okay.
We just need it up here.
You don't need it up here.
At the club station.
I figured that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has one on the passenger.
Because we can just try that today if you have the generator PTO on and release the parking brake. It doesn't shut off.
You still need to kick the generator up back there, right, like the engine?
You'd have to have your breakers on.
Oh,
It's
so
not like
that
the
kicks
engine.
on the generator? It's hydraulic?
Switch up here for your interaction differential. Now, when you want to use that, is a lot of instructors train it to, if you have a bad area to get through, stop, shift it in, get through your bad area, stop and shift it back out. Because if you're spinning, when you shift that over, you can turn your big gears back there into little gears, so just be careful with that.
You can do that while you're driving your transmission.
Transmission is really bad. The book actually says you can shift it in at low city speeds, but just be on the safe side so you're not spinning. Stop, shift it in, through your bad area, stop, shift it back out. Don't forget to shift it back out. I heard of a department that forgot to shift it out and took it out on the interstate, and it cost them about 10 grand to fix their little oops. Okay?
So you want to be going, if you do have it in low speed,
Yep.
when you're through, take it out.
Stop and take it out.
If it, we get winter weather around here, so that will help you to get around traction-wise?
Yep. Sometimes, well, driving around town and they say that the axles are pushing you. If you're trying to turn, it's going to want to
Go straight.
go straight. So basically just shift it in, get through your bad spot. If you got to hit a big drift or whatever, shift it back up. Okay, since it is an aerial, before you touch anything on the truck compartment, cab compartment, pump panel, look up and make sure it's not touching the high line, so you don't fry yourself. Okay, when you are flowing water, you're near high lines, they want the pump panel operator, pump guy to stand on a step. Your chances on this step are a lot better than standing here like this. So push out on both, push in on both at the same time, unlock it, pull it out, make sure it's locked all the way out. Same thing to put it back in, push on both. These tracks will get a lot of road grime in them, so got to keep them sprayed out. Okay, the switch right here, it's one of those proximity switches I was talking about earlier with the front axle. Looks like a battery, gray top on it. That senses the ladder being in the cradle. Okay, so if that's not working, you won't be able to operate the stabilizers. When I talk about the overrides, I'll say remember that cradle switch. So, okay, I'll touch a little bit on the pump. Now, if you're wanting to use this pump flow your water through your aerial, okay? This is your aerial valve. You want to use this pump. Open this up. Make sure you got your drain closed in the back, and also make sure you have a cap on the back. Okay, it's basically one pipe. Comes from here, there's a butterfly valve here. That pipe runs through the middle of the torque box, goes down to the aerial inlet in the back, and tees up and goes to the ladder. Okay? So, now if you're gonna flow, you're gonna use your pump to flow all of these, and you wanna use another pumper to flow your aerial, you wanna close this one down. Okay? If you try to flow from both, you're gonna be fighting each other. So shut this one down, and whatever you're bringing in the back there is gonna be your pressure out. So if you hook up to a hydrant back there, that's what pressure you're gonna get out of this hydrant pressure. You can't bring it in here to this pump and then bring it back out to the aerial. It's only one pipe. Yeah. Also, I was doing a training in Canada, and the chief made it very clear to tell the crew, when you're flowing water here, got your aerial open, do not take that cap off in the back. Said, I had a guy get hurt this past summer. He got that cap off here while we were flowing water. So, I don't know how he got it off here, but Mongo, I think his name was. Mongo got the cap off. Okay, right inside of the torque box in here is a 60-gallon hydraulic tank for the stabilizers and the aerial. And on top there's a little door. We open that up. That's the aerial hydraulic fill. And right in here, this crack, you can see it. You'd have to get a flashlight and get a flashlight on it. There's a sink gauge. See it straight back in there.
So winter day, pop it in. There's a lot of stuff.
Tube with
Couldn't
aluminum
hurt to remind
bracket.
you every once in a while to pop in for.
There's two gadgets in that aluminum bracket. Your level could be
Things
in
we will
between
forget.
or just at the top of that
Well, hopefully we can use this.
highest one.
Burn the DVD out of it. Just pop the DVD and put it upstairs.
That's right at the
Put it in the
top.
bucket and out of training.
That's the highest one.
About 3/4 of an inch low.
Oh, okay.
If you are having trouble seeing it, it's okay to move the stabilizer out a foot and see it. What you don't want to do is, that works on gravity, that sight gauge. So if it is low, just don't start dumping and dumping and dumping. Having a guy sitting down here watching, put a gallon or two in, and then wait 10 or 15 minutes and then check it. Okay? Make sure all your stabilizers are packed up. Guy did that at Pierce. Everything was extended, filled it up, retracted everything back in. A little bit too much, yeah.
Look like our old area.
Blowing shit all over.
Okay, keep moving along. Okay, there's another switch here underneath that step that tells the truck that the step is up, okay? So if this step isn't all the way up, it'll say do not move truck, step not stowed. I bring this up because that pump panel step also has a switch to it. And the do not move truck screen on the command zone. Okay, when that step is open, there's a little box, gray box that drops out on the side of the truck by the pump panel. It lets you know which step is not down. But this step and the step on the other side come up as the same little gray box. Because I've had guys you know, not know that, and they're reading, you know what, out of that step over there, and one of these is down. So come and check these two before you take a count to that step over there. Red, you have to just set up. That's for side to side. The one for front to back is underneath that step. Those are the same degrees. Okay, this is that aerial inlet. This does move. Yeah. So before you go out and get the mail, try to bang it straight. Just move this part. Okay, this is the pressure inside of your aerial waterway. If you're pumping from here or pumping from the other, from this truck, whatever's inside of the waterway pipes, shows up there. Okay, inside of this door, that's your aerial drain. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Right behind it is that relief valve that opens at 220 and fully at 250.
So when you're retracting, you don't just open it. I really thought it was here.
No, you want to have something open. Especially when it's cold out. You want to, after you're done flowing water, keep your aerial up, open that drain out, get all your water out so it doesn't freeze in there.
Back drain tools.
If you took it off, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But they're different.
That's the drain we want open.
Yeah. Okay, inside of this box, this connector here, you guys don't have to worry about. This is for hooking up a laptop and changing programs and all that. The one next to it is your stabilizer power. I'll go hit the battery. Okay, your stabilizer power. Okay, this is electronics over hydraulics. I'll show you where the manual stabilizer control valve is. Okay, but this box drives that valve. Okay, to get power to this box, bump that switch up one time, turn it off, bump it up. Okay, this will stay on 180 seconds after your last function. Or you can just go ahead and shut it off. Or when you lift the ladder out of the cradle, it'll shut it off too. This box will be dead when you're out of the cradle. Okay, I'll shut that off so you can see. Okay, so you're looking down at the box right now. This is like you're looking down at the top of the truck. Okay, left front, left rear, right front, right rear. Each stabilizer has two lights. Okay. The one at the top corner is your fully extended light. Okay. In all the boxes. Okay, fully extended equals rotation. So if you don't have one of these green lights on, you're not going to be able to rotate to that side of the truck. It doesn't matter if it's a short jack 2 inches or 2 feet, it's going to stop you in the same spot. Okay. So if you pulled up to a scene, you know you're going to get all 4 jacks all the way out. That's your working side. Okay. You would pull up tight to this side. Make sure you can get those 2 out. Okay. And all you got to do is get these 2 out far enough to get your pins in, so you can get them out 6 inches. Bring them straight down, or bring them out 6 inches. Bring them down. You can't rotate to that side of the truck, but you'll have a 100% use off of this side. You'll bring the ladder out of the cradle about this far. It'll rotate about 3 degrees past 0, and it'll stop you. It'll say rotation denied. Rotator on the back. It'll stop you about here. Rotation denied again. 3 degrees. Okay, our other 4 lights are firm on ground, are fully planted lights. Okay, you have to have all 4 of these on to get the ladder out of the cradle. Okay. And when you're doing a stabilizer setup, you just can't go by these lights because you can get these lights before the weight is off the suspension and onto the stabilizers. At minimum, Pierce says, want your weight off your suspension and onto your stabilizers. So at minimum, bulge out of your tires. You can have the rear axle, you can have the tires off the ground a little bit, they don't have to be. Okay, so just don't go by these green lights. Get your head around the corner.
Hey Chuck, speak up just so we can, because this is probably a good point.
Well, Joe and I were talking the other day about the bulge out of tires. And we went through that sequence. It indicates taking the tires off the ground. One paragraph, the next paragraph, so have at least one set of tires in contact. So the rule is at least one axle in contact with the ground.
You definitely want your front axle.
What do you say?
Definitely want to leave your front axle on the ground. Leave your bulge in the front for your anchor point. And the rear axle, weight off the suspension, minimum bulge out of the tires. If it's slippery out, you want to leave them in contact too, just for an extra anchor point. Okay, so firm on ground. Okay. If you don't have all 4, you can't get the ladder out of the cradle. Now once you're out of the cradle, say you're operating, that's your working side, you got weight in the basket. This side over here will become light. It'll even come off the ground. Okay, I'll do that. When the truck is tested through UL, we have to hang 1.5 times capacity off the bottom of the ladder, rotate it 360 degrees around the truck, and it has to stand. Okay. I'm telling you that not to go over 1,000 pounds, but it's rated above that. So if you stay within 1,000 pounds, you're fine. Yeah. Okay, you got another light here. Stabilizer not stowed. Okay, if this red light's on, you go up to the truck and up to the cab and release the parking brake. It's going to tell you do not move the truck, stabilizer not stowed. Okay, your level assist. This will only work if you have all 4 stabilizers planted and you're 0.9 degrees out of level, more than 0.9 degrees out of level. So you're 1 degree out of level. You take it and you bump this down. Okay, if you just take it and hold it and you're not watching, it can get you way higher than you need to be. Like as far as today, just go and do a setup. When we get out front, I'll show you how to do a setup. Okay. Right now, I'll hit it, and I don't have my stabilizers planted. And it's going to start yelling at me. And up there on the display, it says, jack's not down. It will quit pretty soon.
Will that go off, like you say, if you're working off the side and trying to lift the other side off? Is that one?
No. There's a screen on the command zone. There's 3 screens. There's a stabilizer setup screen. When you first get up there, you put that screen on, and it will show all 4 of your jacks, and they'll be extended, planted, and they'll be green. Now, as you're rotating the ladder around, you can watch that screen, and they'll start to shift as the weight of the truck starts to shift. They'll turn red when they become light, or if they're short jack, they'll be yellow. Okay. All right, stabilizer EPU. EPU stands for Emergency Power Unit. So if you lose your PTO and you still have your electronic controls, you can put your stabilizers away with this. You want to hold it. I'm going to run one out a little bit. You want to hold it and hit your function at the same time. Okay, that red light just popped on. Okay. Now that pump is a small separate battery operated pump. Okay, you lost your PTO. You can run this for 30 minutes, but you got to shut it off and let it cool down for 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off. And this is just to get everything put away if you lose your PTO. There's another switch just like this on the turntable. to get your ladder put away. Okay.
So that's electric, and it's running off the battery.
Yep. Going through the electronics here, this box.
So you gotta hold that switch to do the function, to hold the switch and function.
Yep, switch, and then. Yeah. And I just did something illegal, but they put this cable on for a reason, so you can get your header on the corner, and you can watch what you're doing, moving your stabilizers in and out, so you don't get somebody between in the stabilizer and doing the truck. Because you could sit here like this if the PTO is running and run all four of them out or all four of them in. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to see them when you're moving them. Okay, we'll step over here and look at the stabilizer manual control. Okay, you open this up. Now this valve right here, all these handles, say I had my PTO and my yellow boxes working. If I opened up this step, I could see all them handles moving. There's that electric box, electrics over at hydraulics, okay? But if you lose your electronics and you still have your hydraulics, you can come in here, grab these handles. This whole valve is laid out on a sticker, and you can run your stabilizers from here. Okay, now you're really having a bad day. You lost your electronics and your PTO. Okay, you lost your electronics, so you can't use that APU switch on the yellow box. This switch right here, okay, is a backup to that backup. It runs that same small pump, but it doesn't go through the electronics. So, lost my PTO, lost my electronics. I'd have to hold this switch down and move my handles and put my stabilizers away with that switch. Same with up top, because I won't have that EPU switch up top since I lost my electronics. So somebody would have to stand down here and hold the switch up in the aerial, open up that step, and there's the aerial manual control valve, and somebody would have to put it away from there. When we get up there, we'll look at that. Is that clear as mud, or is that pretty good? I know.
We're gonna play with all of it, right?
Yep, so if you lose your PTO
And your electronics.
and your electronics,
You gotta hold that button and you run your stabilizer.
hold this button and run your stabilizers from here. Now, if you lose your electronics, you still have your PTO, you just go straight to the handles.
Just go to the handles and everything.
Yep. Other side, get a spotter. Okay. And when you're in this box, you don't have any safeties anymore. So if the ladder was out of the cradle and somebody didn't like the guy in the basket, you can come in here and run the stabilizers while the ladder is out of the cradle. So there's no safeties when you're in this box. Any questions? Okay, step back around here. Now if I can get a volunteer to turn the bar to the box on, use the ECU and check running the left front stabilizer out and down.
Left across?
Yep.
Run her down now?
Yep.
Got the green light.
Alright, thank you. Come on, bring everybody up here for
Want me to just shut the
pleasure. Okay, this pin has two jobs. Okay, first job would be putting your pin in your first full hole. If you set up and you got a half a hole, don't reset the truck up, just go to your first full hole. Okay, it doesn't matter if it goes in like this or like this. You just want to even out your material here. Okay. Now also you want to make sure before you retract your stabilizers, take this pin out because it'll actually egg this beam out before you shear that pin off. So that's a lot of work if you got to replace this beam. So make sure these are out. That's a big one. Okay, second job. This pin has to be put back into this holder. Okay? So when this foot comes up, it'll lift this pin up, and the head of this pin, when it's retracted, will meet this retraction box underneath here. Okay? So it has to be all the way up, all the way in. Okay, so this pin's thrown in a compartment or on the ground. You release the parking brake. You have your truck stabilizer not stowed because it's not reading that pin. Okay, underneath this beam here, the whole beam, you want to take the old grease off and put new grease on it. They use a environmentally friendly grease, so if you're spraying it down and it goes in a drain, you know, makes everybody happy, I guess. Okay, here's another switch. This is firm on ground, fully planted switch that reaches this beam. Okay, get your head around the corner and look and see how much bulges out of the tire washing your tires, so on. There's another switch back here. That's fully extended switch. Tells you if you're fully extended. Don't get used to using this as a tool bench. Tools get left up here. The operator doesn't know it. He retracts it in. You smash both of your hydraulic lines there. Okay, if we can step in back here, we'll talk about the override. Okay, underneath this red cover, this is your override. You gotta push it up and hold it. Right now it's saying override. Okay, the reasons you'd want to use that switch is if something failed. Okay, it's there to help you out of a situation, not to get you in a situation. I'll give you examples why you'd want to use it and why you wouldn't want to use it. Okay, so if you extended all your stabilizers, planted them down, you know your weight's off the suspension and on your stabilizers, and you can't get this left rear stabilizer planted switch to come on. You walk over to the stabilizer, give it a shake, you know you're firm on ground. For some reason that switch broke or somebody left something in there and got crushed. How are you going to get the ladder out of the cradle? Some of you have to come down here, hold this switch up, while somebody went up top, raise the ladder out of the cradle. Once the ladder was out of the cradle, you could release this, okay? Because the truck doesn't care about them green lights after you're out of the cradle. But when you're coming back in the cradle, okay, that switch on the cradle's got about a 9/16 radius. So when you're coming back down and that senses that ladder, it's not going to let you seat the aerial properly. So somebody's going to have to come back here again and hold this until it's seated. Another reason you'd want to use it is that cradle switch we talked about earlier. If that cradle switch went bad, ladder was obviously in the cradle and it wasn't letting you operate your stabilizers, you'd have to hold this, put your stabilizers away. Another reason you'd use it if fully extended, and one of your fully extended proxies went bad. It wasn't letting you rotate to that side, you knew you were fully extended, you could go ahead and use it then. Just where it gets tricky. Alright, if you know you're fully extended, that's not what that switch is meant for. It's not meant to go to the short jack side of the truck. Okay? I always get that question, and yeah, we're going to do it anyways.
I do got a question for you on that. You can fully extend 3 of the jacks. Short jack, say the right front. What's going to happen with the turntable? Will it allow you to go out over the right rear?
No.
It'll only still only let you go 3 degrees past
Yep.
center.
Yep. You only have to have one short jack, and it won't let you go to that side of the truck. You don't have to have both of them. So if there's power lines on that side of the truck, okay, I could use it as a safety too. Extend them all the way out, bring that rear one in 2 inches, lose my green light and I wouldn't be able to rotate by them power lines.
Hey, John, on that override, if you know you're fully extended on all four, but you're not getting a green, so you have to override it. If you're trying to bring the aerial to the side that's not giving you the green, would someone have to sit here and hold that until you got past 3 degrees and then that would override it, or would someone have to hold that override the whole time you operated on that side?
I'll say the whole time you operated on that side.
Okay.
Because I know I went past it, and then somebody had to hold it for me again to get back out of it.
Okay.
Okay, our next switch is emergency stop switch. Okay, there's a switch here, there's a switch at the turntable, and there's a switch in the basket. It's one big loop. Okay, if one of these switches is pushed in, that means you're gonna open that loop. Okay, you're gonna lose power to your controls, and also it's gonna drop out your load sense on your PTO, so you're not gonna be able to build up any pressure if you went to your manual controls. Okay, so if I was down here and I see something not right up top, they're in the basket rotating, not paying attention, you can go ahead, push that in, that'll stop them just like that. I mean, remember, if they're fully extended and they're rotating fast, you hit that button, it's gonna stop it now, they're gonna get up. I was giving a ride, I was working on second shift and some fancy bigwigs came down from the office, a couple ladies, and they wanted to ride. So I said, okay, off the back of the truck, fully extended. Got everybody into the basket, harnesses on, and we were raising, I'm raising them fast, got up about 60 degrees, one of them turned and hit that E-stop with their elbow, and that whole truck just went woof, woof, like that. That was pretty funny. One of the ladies was, oh my God, I think I just beat myself off. So yeah, that switch is gonna stop you right now. Now to reset it, this quarter turn to the right, it'll pop it back out. Now you have to reset it from where it was set at. So if it's set in a basket, someone's gonna have to climb up in the basket and reset it. Okay, there is an override switch for that. I'll show you that when we're up top. Okay. Any questions here? I think it's time to head outside. We got to talk about the turntable, but I don't think we're all going to fit up there. Unless we're all kneeling. So if we can get the truck, get a volunteer to suck that one stabilizer in and have a volunteer move it outside. Get some jackets. I'll have to hit the Aeromaster here. Here, what? Or just the Aeromaster? Aerial with your stabilizers in your aerial, there's hundreds of pinch points. So beware your surroundings. Okay. These are those wire ropes I was talking about. One side fails, the other side will hold it. But if one side is damaged, make sure to get it fixed right away. Okay, inside of here, right here is your load chart. There's another load chart inside the basket. Also on this screen right here, it's hard to see. But that was that load chart I was talking about that automatically adds its straps weight as they're going up and down. Okay, right there's your gallons per minute. Okay, now remember, if you're flowing water, that'll automatically change that from 1,000 pounds in a platform to 500 pounds in a platform. But if it's not flowing water, it's going to go back to 1,000. Okay, your oxygen level in your air tank. Rung alignment. Only time you have to worry about that if someone's going to climb the ladder. These rungs on this picture will turn green. If they're not aligned, they'll be red. Down below it, it's a ladder angle indicator. You hit page. Okay, this shows all the ladder angles and the lengths of the ladder. Later on today, when you're operating, you can touch all the buttons you want. You're not going to break anything. Just try and be careful with this screen. There's a film over it now. But a lot of guys like to walk up and take their dirty glove and just, basically it's a computer screen, so, you know, this piece of film goes bad, you can get some of them tear-offs and just try to keep that nice as you can. Okay, it says aerial, right below it says 54 degrees Fahrenheit. That's your hydraulic fluid temperature. Right below it's your hydraulic fluid PSI. Okay, right now the PTO is not on, but if the PTO is on and I have my stabilizer set, this would read about 475. So if I deadhead and retract, this would climb up to about 3,000. Hit page again. Okay, this is my ladder, my stabilizer setup screen. And if you have any questions during the day, I can take you through all these screens. It's hard for everybody to see. So basically, you just hit page. You can go through all your screens. Hit menu. Okay, this brings you up to your menu. Set display brightness. Go down. Configure video mode if you had video cameras on the tip. Set startup screen. Them 3 pages that I had up here before. I could set whichever I wanted to come up first when you first turn the truck on. Set time and date. View active alarms. View system information. Come down, go into that. Okay, it's got your aerial hours, aerial PTO hours, ladder aligned for stowing, ladder rotation. Okay. Go down, aerial calibrations and system diagnostics. You really don't have to worry about them too much. Hit main, and that brings you back to your 3 main pages over here. Okay, now these controls override your basket controls. Your ladder controls override your basket controls. So to release the handle, lift up, ease in, and ease back out. Okay, real smooth. Okay, now when you're raising, you get up 70 degrees. There's a built-in slowdown in the computer. It'll slow you down, so when you get to 75, say you're fully extended, you get to 75 degrees, it doesn't shake you like that. It slows you down nice. Lowering, there's also a lowering creep that'll slow you down before you get near the body. Okay, now with that, there is a collision avoidance system built in. Okay, it won't allow you to smash your own truck, but that system is set with everything in a stowed position. So them AC lights on the back of the truck, if you raise them up, the ladder won't know they're there, and the ladder will wipe them out. Okay. And also, you do have a collision avoidance system, but the operator has to be watching what he's doing just in case something fails. Okay, don't close your eyes or anything. So that collision avoidance has 9 zones all the way around the truck. Okay, so you come from that catwalk over there where it comes down. You can go -5 degrees all the way around the back of the truck. And when you get up to this AC light over here, it's going to stop you. It's going to make you lift up. Go over, lift up again, go over the cab. Okay.
Question, John. There seems to be an override for everything. What would happen? This is the worst possible case scenario. The guy down here on the platform has a heart attack and slumps down on them controls. The other boys are going to go for a ride.
They can hit their E-stop.
They can hit the E-stop.
Yeah.
All right. Then they're stuck until they get the guy up to control. Until they can get Ray out of there.
Yeah.
Don't put Ray in here.
He's a ground level guy.
He's a grade level guy.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay.
Okay, also this truck has a bedding assist feature. All you have to do there is hold the lower handle. Okay, be within certain parameters. 10 degrees elevation and 5 degrees to either side of 0. Okay, right in the middle of the cradle is 0. That's home. 5 degrees on either side of the cradle, 10 degrees elevation. You have to be fully retracted. Okay, if you're in within that, all you do is have to hold lower, and it'll automatically bring you down. Okay.
Almost Brian proof.
How do you spell Brian?
Shock.
Midship.
We know who breaks shit. You're no breaker and stuff.
They still make some. Yes. Same. Some people buy mid mounts because they're, this ladder has to be up over the cab, so it's a lot taller than a mid mount would have to be. Because that mid mount, the turntable is back underneath behind the cab, so you just save some height. Okay, rotation, fully extended. Be extra careful with rotation. If you do one of those with rotation, you're gonna get a, yep. So ease in, ease back out. Yeah. Yep. And with these controllers, just like today, all I ask is operate until you're comfortable. Okay, so just ease in and ease back out. Extension and retraction, there's 2 slowdowns built into them too. So when you get the full extension, you just don't get hammered. Okay, it's creep and reduce, 2 slowdowns, so you stop real nice. Okay, nozzle controls. These nozzle controls override the basket nozzle controls. Aerial speed. Okay, if you're in fast, 1 function, 1 high idle. 2 functions, you'll get 2 high idles. If you're in normal, 1 function, no high idle. 2 functions, you'll get 1 high idle. If you're in slow, you won't get any high idles. Okay? And I suggest if you're up trying to get to that edge of a building or seeing how close you can get, put it in a slow. As far as today, don't try to see how close you can get until you're used to the controls. DC lights on and off. Okay, you got 1 here on the base section, 1 in front of the Stokes box, and there's 1 at the tip of the basket. They're the round ones. They also got switches on the light head for fog and spot. Under basket AC lights, there's a switch right here. Bump it up 1 time. Now your generator has to be on, and your breakers have to be switched on to use this. All right, emergency stop. Push it in. My functions are dead here. I go underneath my step. Okay. Let's say that somebody was in the basket. They fell. They hit it up there. 400 pounds. He had a heart attack and fell right there. You're not going to climb up there and get him down. And how are you going to get him down? Go underneath this step. Somebody can get the other side. It's kind of spring loaded. If somebody can hold it for me. Okay, so if somebody hit the E-stop in the basket, this emergency stop PTO bypass, okay? You could hold that and hit your functions at the same time. And you could bring them down to the side, get them out of the basket, reset that E-stop, and you're back in business, okay? Now while we're in here, if we lost your electronic controls, electronics over hydraulics, so if you lost these controls, still had your PTO, you could come in here and run your ladder from here. But remember, there's no more safeties, so you better get a spotter if you're trying to put it in the cradle. Your head's going to be down here. Okay, so if you lost your electronics and your PTO, somebody had to go underneath that step and that door and hold that aerial switch up, and then use these handles to put it away.
And that goes up that battery.
Yep. Yep. Last resort. Okay, any questions in here? So basically, when you got your PTO and your electronics, I go and hit my raise here. You'll see this one moving. Now you notice they had a little piston pushing that door open. They didn't used to have that. Guy was doing a training and fireman was looking inside of that door and didn't latch it. He just pushed it up. And a guy came walking down the ladder not knowing that was not open. Yeah, and he put 1 foot on each side of that bar in the back. He came down, landed in the middle. He's not happy. So if I lost my PTO and still had my electronics, I'd hold that switch up, put my ladder away. Intercom, push to talk, release to listen. The one at the basket is hands-free. You have to do the same with the one at the platform, at the pump panel. Okay? And they also have headset plugins. Okay? Now on your headsets, you don't have to push these. Yep. Okay, this is your on and off. Okay. Basket leveling. There's an auto and a manual switch under here for basket leveling. They're hard to see. 2 switches. The one on the left is auto and manual. You flip it down into manual. The switch next to it is up and down, so you can run your basket up and down manually. Basically, for you guys, just leave it in auto. A bunch of relays and fuses in there, so some guys might want to stay out of there. Start playing around. Okay, so along with basket leveling, you got these 2 cylinders here, and you got 2 cylinders just like it at the front of your ladder at the basket. Okay, it's a closed loop. You got your hydraulic lines coming off of these cylinders, so as the ladder goes up in elevation, it's going to push down on these. So these rods are going to be smaller. It's going to push that fluid to the tip, and those rods are going to be bigger. So these do the majority of your basket leveling. And also there's a small basket leveling pump down there that does your fine tuning. So if you hear some whining coming from down there, that's that basket leveling pump kicking in. Right behind you is 3 black lines. Those are cable timing lines. How to check that, you go to 0 degrees, fully extend it, retract it back in, and eyeball it down the side, and it should somewhat line up. If they're way off, that means the cables need to be tightened. Also, when you're bedding the ladder, there is a hydraulic pressure PSI. Okay. Now when you're lowering, you want to watch that, and that's going to come up to about 2200 PSI, 2300. And you want that down force on the cradle, so when you're driving on the road, your ladder's not flopping around in there. Okay, if you have it in high idle, and you go to lower it, once the computer sees that pressure, it's going to knock that high idle off, so you know you're fully seated. Okay, any questions while we're up here? No? All right, we can head down if you want, and we'll do some stabilizer setups. Go through a whole setup from the time you pull up to the time you leave, what you want to look for. Now remember, there's probably 100 different ways to do a stabilizer setup. I've been doing it a while, so I'm going to show you probably the quickest and easiest way to do it. Basically, get your weight off your suspension, get it on your stabilizers, get all your lights on your yellow box, and get in your greens on your levels. Okay? You never want to set up your stabilizer on a manhole cover or a storm drain. You know, if you were extended out 100 feet that way and you had that left front outrigger on a manhole cover and that decided to give away, be a bad day. So stay away from them. Make sure whatever you set up on can support the weight of the truck. Hollow sidewalks. Okay, about 80,000 pounds here, so.
Just looking at our level things now, we're within the green for this way and this way, right?
Yeah.
I call it smoke. Just about there, yeah, we're still within the green.
Yep.
So basically, the way the truck is sitting right now, all you have to do is put your beams down,
Yep.
put your jacks on the ground, and get your weight off. You wouldn't have to go, I mean, fine tuning it would be that right?
Yep. Yeah. With your levels, remember you don't have to be perfectly at zero. So some guys like to bump a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit back there. Just get them within the green. I mean, more towards zero than yellow. Okay, about 2 or 3 degrees is fine. That's great. Okay, you want to go to your low side first. Okay. Because if you went to your high side first, you could run out stabilizer before you got into your where you needed to be on your levels here. Okay, well, hit up the tab. High lines. I want to check the pavement for manhole covers. That's it there. Yep. Wheel chocks, low side tight, high side next to away. Cam, head back, I'm still looking for high lines.
Yeah, you can come back in mid-operation and put it into pump.
Now the first thing I want to do is I want to take up my space. Okay, so the squad car doesn't pull up and block my stabilizers in. So I'm going to take my space. Remember, this is on a cord for a reason, so I can get my head around the corner. Got my power on. I'm going to run both stabilizers out at the same time. Some people like to try to put their pads out first, but then they go back and run their stabilizers out, then they got to go back and reset their pads. So extend them both out first, extend those out, set your pads, yeah, run them both out. Now just hold them until they stop, don't try to feather it. Okay, I got both my green lights, I'll go to my other side. Nope. I got my PTO on right now. Okay, hold it, bring them both out at the same time. Okay, got both my green lights, I pull my box up. I go ahead and put my pads out. Now when you put your pads out, you want to put the handle underneath the beam and the pier side up and out.
For marketing purposes?
Yep.
Hey Scott, 180? 180 that.
Handle underneath the beam. Yeah. Underneath the beam. So you and the pier side up and out. I don't see a lot of people tripping on them, but they still recommend them. As the older ones with the metal handles sticking up. Okay, right here we're fairly level, but I'm going to say the driver's side's my low side. I'll show you today when we get up to the hill over here. Our rear is going to be the low side. So you're going to go touch on the back, bring the back up. Okay, so here I'm just going to go touch on the driver's side. Okay, touch. touch, I'm gonna bring them both down evenly. So I'm lifting up on the torque box evenly. Watching the side of the truck, I'm washing my tires. Take it up a couple of degrees. Go to the other side, do the same thing. Okay.
All right.
Same thing on this side, touch. Got all my lights.
Almost there.
Check my green there. Check my green here. Same last one. Anytime one of them I'll go again. Okay, now I'd go ahead and pin it if I was going to fly the aerial. Now we don't have to do this today, but I'm going to show you the level assist. Remember, all four have to be planted in 1 degree out, more than 1 degree out of level. And I'm just going to bump it because if you just take it and hold it, it's going to just keep on going and going. It's going to get you higher than you need to be. So it only levels up. Okay.
But if we're here on,
This is good setup right now.
we don't need to worry about this other stuff.
Nope. I'm just going to show you what it does. I lost the stabilizer. Yeah, I'll hit it again. Yeah, the front end's off the ground, so one bad part about it, you can just get your iron in the Okay, to correct that, just bring your stabilizers up. Okay, go up on this side. Go to the other side, do the same thing. Lights weight off the suspension and within my levels. Pin it, good setup, I can go operate. I think that storm's coming. Thank you. They can drop down a little bit. Okay, now the short jacket. Okay, I'm gonna short jack this one. Just raise it up. Bring it in. Watch how the farther you have to bring it in to lose that light. That's it, I lost that light, I can't rotate to this side of the truck now. That's what they mean by short jacket.
So like you said, I've got a lot of wires on it.
Yep. Tight to one side. Okay, I just have to get them out that far. Get my planted lights. I wouldn't be able to rotate to this side. I have to have 100% use on the other side.
It's like a one-way street or double parallel parking on both sides or somewhere it's going to be narrow and really.
Truck way up in the air. You want to walk each side down. Okay, I do a little bit on this side, walk to my other side, do a little bit on this side, just so you're not twisting on it. Okay, I'll bring these two up now. Yeah. take these two and hold them. And when you get up to the truck, you'll see it about that far away. It'll slow down and then it'll suck itself in just a little bit more. So when you think they're all the way in, just hold it a second or two more. And watch this light, listen for your high idle and your alarms. And when they're all sucked in, all three of them are going to go away. That's when I know everything's backed up. Yep.
Can you run, just out of curiosity, if you got enough in that cord that the operator could stand back? Does a one guy run all four?
A hill. You can stand back here and watch the two backs go down. Yeah. Any other questions? Anybody want to volunteer to be the first? Okay. Now, if you guys want, you can leave the pans out, or you can take them in and out every time. That's up to you. And also the pins, if you want to put the pins in, you can put the pins in, or you can just talk through them. And so when we go through this, I want you to kind of train me now and tell me everything you got to hit in the cab. Come out, you're going to look above, you're going to do your wheel chocks, you're going to check for good footing. Okay, and then you're going to take the next person through, and then he'll take the next. So everybody get to do it and kind of train it once, so you get to see it twice. Help you remember. Ready?
Start over there?
Yep. I'll climb in the cab and cut the stuff out.
Hey Jared, do me a favor. Speak up, we'll just use this one as the practice when I'll shut this down.
We'll pull to the scene, hit neutral, set my parking brake, aerial master, aerial PTO.
Front wheel lock.
Front wheel lock. Okay. You're gonna chalk your wheels. High side tight, low side 2 inches away. Look for power lines.
Hey Jared, let's just say that again. Low side tight, high side 2 inches away.
Did I say that?
Said
Oh,
it
it said backwards? Okay.
Right.
Low side tight, high side 2 inches away. Once again, looking for power lines all around the truck. Everything's clear. Gonna kick on my stabilizer power master. And we're going to extend the left side out. Right side. Touch, touch. Right gauge.
Watch your tires.
Now we're going to watch for the tire bulge. You want the front tires to maintain on the ground.
Yep.
Same thing on the other side. Watch for the rear tire bulge come out. And look at our leveling gauge again. We're still in the green, so we're okay. Did I miss anything?
Pin.
Well, and then you want to pin all your jacks.
Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you got to say count 10. Count 10 all the way.
You would have to put your pad. When you get to the scene, You'd have to extend, put your pads out, because right now the pads are already out, so you can go this side, drop them, go to the other side, drop them. But still got the same results, but just a little different.
Trying to set your footprint up and then get into your touch
Yeah.
is what you're saying. Get your width established.
Yep.
And then of course, we don't want to pin these into it.
It's up to you
Everybody's
if you
gonna
want
do
to
it.
practice.
Well, he just said,
So
just talk, just
you have to
say
pin
it.
all your stab jacks in, stabilizers.
Highest full hole.
Equal amount on both sides.
Yep.
So you have an equal amount on both sides. Do that all the way around.